Last week, the community really came together. I'm kind of interested in your kind of experience with what people have been saying. It seems like there's a new appreciation from law enforcement every time we have an incident where we lose a law enforcement officer. I was telling Bernie at a show at the Cajun Dome, there was someone from the marshal's office doing the wanding, the kind of metal detector going in, and a woman right in front of me said, she was in a walker, she was probably 80. She walked up and thanked him, for being there. Of course, this was right after Vegas happened and the shooting here, and said she was one of the original female officers of Lafayette Police. So she appreciates everything he's doing.
Wow.
I think that stopped me in my tracks, and
yeah.
I think it's story after story after story, people really expressing how they probably should every day, what law enforcement means in our community. What are your kind of feelings about it?
I think as a law enforcement officer, we lucky enough to see it every day. It's not brought to light until something like this occurs, but we are lucky, like I say, when we're eating lunch or something in the public where we're able to meet with the public, and especially since Dallas and Baton Rouge and those incidents occurred where people approach us and thank us for our jobs. So, the public might not see it, but we're lucky enough to be able to see it. But to answer a young man's question, his mother sent me on when will the good guys win. I guess I can only answer it in such a fashion as this, and this is my opinion. When I was a young boy, I guess around 12, we didn't have all the TV channels and everything as they do now. So when you sit in front of a TV and a special report comes on, when I was 12, I think the invasion of Grenada occurred and the bombing of Beirut. It kind of gets you as a young boy, and you start feeling scared or whatever it might be. And then at 15, the bombing of Libya occurred, and you start looking for answers of what's going on, and you kind of look to your parents for guidance and answers. And I was lucky enough to have two great parents, a mother and a father, and unfortunately my mother's no longer here, but in a good family, aunts and uncles that was able to provide me with those answers and comfort. Fast forwarding to today, the good guys are still winning. It's just you don't see it as much because of social media, and
it's so much easier to complain, right?
Good doesn't sell.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, it seems like every time you put a 4-time DUI offender behind bars for good, that's a win to me, because maybe there's a life saved.
Michael Middlebrook's death, evil won for a split second, and then good triumphed from his capture, the suspect's capture, and then you saw good again when the people lined the streets of Lafayette to celebrate Michael's life, and the police officers throughout Lafayette. You saw good. You saw good you saw evil in Las Vegas with the mass shooting there for those minutes that it occurred. But you also saw good triumph when thousands of people lined the streets and giving blood and donations to the families and food and what have you. So throughout I guess I'll say my existence from living, you always saw good triumph bad. Mm-hmm. So I want this young man to know that we only let evil win if we allow it. And in Michael Middlebrook's case, if we stop doing what Corporal Middlebrook started out doing, feeding the hungry and clothing the poor, then we allowed evil to win. So if we allow his job to stop, then evil won. And that goes with any case in any law enforcement officer or any case in life. So it's our job to wake up in the morning and get dressed and put on our boots and our uniform and go to work and continue the job that Michael did and all our fallen brothers and sisters before him, and continue the work that we're supposed to do. Same with our military brothers and sisters that have fallen before. So just know that there's more good out there than evil. You just don't see it because it doesn't sell.
Mm-hmm.
But I want Paul to know, surround yourself with good and not with bad. Know that we're always here to help you throughout your life. I know you're young, but we will always be here for you and your family. And I know that you're only able to see the bad right now. And we will move forward from this, and we will get through this. But it's people like you and your mom and your dad that help us get through this because of your support and everybody else's support throughout Acadiana and throughout the United States. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate everybody else. But we ask you to keep Corporal Middlebrooks and the other fallen officers before him dream and work alive. And that's just being nice and helping other people, even though they're not asking for it. And that's how we keep good overcoming evil.
Yeah.
And you win every day.
That's absolutely right.
It seems like, the stellar example that he was of a law enforcement officer is just an example of just a stellar human. You don't have to have a badge and a uniform to give back, to help feed the hungry, to help clothe the poor. He was able to do it, and he was in an area that he patrolled, getting to know people, getting to know those who were in need, and also making that connection with the folks who, these stores who would give him, food to give to these people, making those connections happen. That's something you or I can do.
That's right.
You just have to kind of make
it's amazing what you find out about people when they pass on. Nobody knew this. I say nobody, but hardly anybody knew this about Corporal Middlebrook and a lot of police officers and other emergency personnel before they passed on. So that tells me about the person, about the true hero that these people were. They didn't ask for a pat on the back or look what I'm doing. That's true goodness in the person. It wasn't that he had a badge and I'm patrolling the streets and trying to keep the streets safe. That's good, and that shows that you're trying to do good in the world. But when you actually care for other human beings that you have no idea who they are, and you're trying to keep them warm and fed, and you going above and beyond what anybody asked you to do as a police officer. Mm-hmm. So that to me is the measure of a true man or a human being that anybody can ask for.
Yeah, you're being a stellar human being.
I feel like we say this every time, but it almost takes on a new meaning. Thank you for putting on the uniform, putting on the badge, putting on your boots, as you said. I know you don't look at it as a job. You like being out there to help people, like working with young people to show them how to make the right choices, and you change lives every day too. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.